Hey everyone, welcome. So today we're going to tackle something super practical, but yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking, right? Ordering coffee in English. But don't you worry, we're going to break it all down, step by step, so you can walk into any coffee shop feeling totally confident.
So, does the idea of ordering in English make you, a little nervous? If so, you are definitely not alone. It is so normal to feel that pressure, especially when you're speaking a new language and, oh yeah, there's a huge line of people right behind you.
But seriously, no worries at all. By the time we're done here, you are going to have every single phrase you need. You'll be ordering like a pro. Okay, let's dive in.
All right, first things first. We've got to start with the building blocks, right? The essential vocabulary. These are the absolute keywords you're going to hear and, more importantly, use inside that coffee shop.
Let's kick things off with the most important part, the drinks. I'm going to say each one nice and slow. Try to repeat them right after me, okay? Here we go. Coffee, espresso, americano, cappuccino, latte, and mocha. Awesome.
Okay, next up is the milk. The barista is almost definitely going to ask you what kind you want. So let's practice the options. We've got whole milk, skim milk, almond milk, soy milk, and one that's super popular these days, oat milk. And of course, we need to talk about size. Now this one's nice and simple. Just listen and repeat after me. Small, medium, large. See? Easy, right?
Feeling a little hungry? You might want something to go with that coffee. So let's run through these. You could get a pastry, a muffin, a croissant, or maybe a slice of cake. Okay, I've got a really important pronunciation tip for you. I want you to listen super closely to this word, espresso. A super common mistake is to put an X sound in there and say espresso, but that's not it. It starts with a soft E sound, espresso. Let's try it together, espresso. You got it. Perfect. Great work. So now we've got the words. Let's build the blueprint, the actual phrases you'll need to order. We're going to see how to stick all these words together into real sentences. Okay, this first one is probably the most common and friendly way to start your order. It's super simple, really informal. You just say, for example, "Hi, can I get a latte, please?" Here's another fantastic option. Now this one is maybe a tiny bit more formal, but it's just as friendly and totally clear. For example, "I'd like a large Americano, please." Honestly, both of these phrases work perfectly every time. Now, the barista's definitely going to ask you some questions. It's just part of the process. So when you hear them say, "What size would you like?" you just answer with the word we already learned. "A medium, please." Simple as that.
The real key here is just to listen for those important key words. So if you hear kind of milk, you're all set with your answer. Almond milk, please. Or hey, if you don't really have a preference, you can just say, whole milk is fine. Easy. Okay, so you've got the words, you've got the phrases, now it is time for a little rehearsal. Let's put all these pieces together and see how they sound in a real, natural conversation. All right, picture this. You walk up to the counter, you give a little smile, and you start with your order. Nice and simple. "Hi, can I get a medium latte, please?" Boom. You've already told them the drink and the size. Perfect start.
And now the barista will respond. They heard you loud and clear. They just need one more little detail. They'll say something like, "Sure, what kind of milk would you like?"
And your answer can be super short and direct. Just use that vocabulary word you practiced. Oat milk, please. See? You don't need a whole long sentence here at all. Next up, the barista will probably ask, "Anything else?" And this is your moment. This is the perfect time to add that pastry you've been eyeing.
And you can finish up your order just like this. Yes, a slice of chocolate cake. And that's it. You did it. You've just successfully ordered your coffee and a snack, all in English.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's add one final piece of polish. This is a really important cultural tip that'll help you out, especially in coffee shops in the United States.
So you'll often see a little jar on the counter or maybe an option on the payment screen asking for a tip. And you might be wondering, what's the right amount? Well, a good rule of thumb is usually somewhere between 10 and 20% of your total.
So, what exactly is a tip? Well, it's basically a small amount of extra money that you give to the staff just to show you appreciate their good service. It's not always required, but it is a really common custom, and it's always appreciated. All right, now it is your turn to practice. The absolute best way to build your confidence is just to say these phrases out loud.
So, go through the dialogues we did, but swap in your favorite coffee, your milk choice, and your go-to snack. Really make it your own personal order.
And there you have it. You are totally ready to go out and order coffee in English. Just remember, practice really is the most important part of this whole thing. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe for more guides just like this one. We're going to be here to help you every single step of the way. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.